I'd like to welcome you to the 2006 Courtyard of Honor ceremony. This ceremony began in 1991 as part of the 25th anniversary celebration. This year we are celebrating our 40th year. This year we recognize 6 pillars of support, 3 outstanding alumni for the year of 2006, and some additional names on the donor wall. At this time, I'd like to recognize some people that are attending today. George Brown, trustee of Coast Community College District, and his wife Helen. Armando Reese, trustee, Coast Community College District. Mary Hornbuckle, trustee, Coast Community College District. Dr. Ken Iglesias, former president of Golden West College and now the chancellor for the Coast Community College District. Dr. Joe Quarles, vice chancellor, Coast Community College District. Aaron Curtis, associate vice chancellor, Coast Community College District. Dean Joe Curry, president, Coastline Community College. Ronnie Guyer, representative from Assemblyman Van Tran's office. Kathy Green, City of Huntington Beach Council member, former mayor, and Golden West College Alumni Pillar of Achievement recipient in 1985. Ralph Bauer, former mayor and city council member. Sherry Finrick, City Huntington Beach treasurer. Sherry. Norma Lopez Reed, Montebello City Council member and former mayor. Joyce Riddell, president of the Huntington Beach Chamber of Commerce. John McGovern, Golden West College Foundation. Mary Monticello, Golden West College Foundation. Nora Morrison, Golden West College Foundation. Pat Meredith, Golden West College Foundation. Jack Shaw, founder of the El Viento Foundation. Dr. Helen Wampler, patrons president. Brandon Shelley, associated student president, as well as homecoming queen, King. I'll never live that down. My apologies. It's because Margie told me that Queen isn't here, so it stuck on my head. Oh no, I won't even blame it on you, Margie. It's just my fault. I own it. And would the associated student body officers please stand? Now I'd like to introduce Dr. Lois Miller, Vice President of Instruction.
Thank you, Wes, and welcome you all to a lovely afternoon in one of our favorite places on campus here by the fountain. This is a special afternoon for Golden West College. We have the opportunity to honor and show our appreciation to both our donors and our exemplary alumni. This year we are honored to be inducting 6 pillars of support into our Courtyard of Honor. This category represents individuals or businesses that have given over $25,000 to Golden West College. We have taken on the campus 46 pillars to date, and a list of pillars and their locations can be found in the program. Our first 2006 pillar of support is in memory of our own Professora Kronk. Pillar is located in the Student Center patio. Bruni Kronk was a teacher, a mentor, and a friend to many of us. She was an instructor at Golden West since 1976, before retiring in December 2004. Bob, her husband, has asked their daughter Deborah to say a few words. Deborah?
Inez Kronk is the first single individual in the history of Golden West College to have a second pillar dedicated in her honor. This special tribute shows just how much of an impact that Bruni had on everyone's life. On behalf of our family, I thank our extended family, friends, and Bruni's colleagues who have contributed to the scholarship and have made this second pillar possible. It's hard to believe a year has gone by since the first dedication. At last year's dedication, my brother Robert stood here and shared our mother's history so that we could begin to understand what the driving force was that caused our mother to take up the cause of others and with a fiery passion, bring others to their fullest potential. Today, it will be my privilege to share some of these stories in which our mother has made an impact on the lives of those students. From the beginning of Bruni's formal education, she was told, "You are nothing but trouble and you will never amount to anything." Strong words that would undoubtedly kill the spirit of most children, but not Bruni. Instead, it was a challenge that she would carry with her for the rest of her personal life and professional career. At the age of 16, Bruni entered the University of Puerto Rico as the youngest student and a female minority. She completed 1.5 years and then moved to California and continued taking classes at El Camino Community College. It was there that she met our father, got married, and started a family. In the mid-60s, my brothers and I entered the world of elementary school. Our mother often volunteered in our classrooms doing the odd tasks that parental volunteers are usually given. It was in my brother Robert's second grade class that she noticed 3 students in the back of the class coloring instead of participating with the English lesson that the rest of the class was engaged in. Later, our mother approached the teacher and asked about the 3 children. The teacher told her that these 3 could not speak English and therefore could not perform with the rest of the other students. This did not go over well with Bruni, for this was the very same kind of treatment that she received at about the same age. But instead of pity, anger, or outrage, our mother chose action. She offered her services as a volunteer to teach English and tutor in other subjects to these 3 students. By the end of the school year, the 3 children spoke, wrote, and understood English well enough to move on to the 3rd grade. It was this very experience that launched Bruni into the education arena. Bruni finished her Associated Arts degree from Harbor College and received a bachelor's degree from California State University, Dominguez Hills. While still student teaching and attending Dominguez Hills, she was called upon by the Los Angeles City School District to take over a class at Wilmington Junior High School and issued an emergency credential. The class she took had been in session and had already gone through 1 teacher. I remember her telling the story that when she walked in the classroom, the students were rather unruly, and one was hanging out of the window. She calmly walked over to the student, asked him politely to come in. The class was starting. She then stood at the front of the class and waited patiently for the students to bring themselves to order as soon as they were quiet and attentive. Then she began the lesson. From the beginning, Bruni gave students respect, and in return, the students gave her their loyalty. In the Western Sun, March 21st, 1991, the newspaper article quoted Bruni about this experience in her own words. Quote, "People sometimes don't get along because they can't communicate and can't understand each other's differences. They don't respect other cultures because they can't understand them. I found that I could communicate better with the students than some of the other teachers that hadn't gone through my experiences. I could truly identify with the students." Unquote. After Bruni received her full credentials, she applied for the position within the Huntington Beach Union School District and interviewed with the principal of Westminster High and Paul Berger, the principal of Fountain Valley High School. Westminster High School was in dire need of a bilingual educator. It was for this reason she was hired and assigned to teach there. The students felt the immediate impact her presence had on their lives. The Western Sun, November 14, 1991, tells us best. While teaching at Westminster High School, Kronk often went to her students' local hangouts to bring them back to class and would provide students with wake-up calls to ensure that they would get to class on time. Through educating her students and communicating with them through her own life experiences, she helped to instill pride in their heritage. During her time at Westminster, Bruni taught bilingual education and developed bilingual courses there to help the students meet with graduation requirements. So great was her impact on the students and parents in her 2nd year there, she was named Teacher of the Year. While conducting a parent-student workshop, our mother was observed by Americo Lopez Rodriguez from Golden West College. The position of instructor for the bilingual educational aids program had been closed because they had been unable to find suitable candidates. After observing Bruni with her students and their parents, our mother was recruited for the position. In 1976, Brunilda Nunez-Kronk became a part of the Golden West Community College faculty. The bilingual instructional aid program was virtually non-existent when our mother began teaching at Golden West. This program trained instructional aides for the classroom, but it wasn't just about training. Many of these women who went through the program came from severely disadvantaged backgrounds. Oppression from poverty or simply from disinterest or hostile family members were impediments to many of these women. Our mother, because of her own experience, knew that these women could do it. During this time, I remember as a teenager overhearing a phone conversation our mother was having with a student once who was apparently having a difficult time. Phrases like, "Yes, it's hard." "No, it's not fair. What can I do to help?" And "Remember, success is the best revenge," came from her side of the conversation. She instilled a sense of confidence and dignity that was found in a common life experience. When she would utter the phrase, "Si se puede," you can do it, it had real meaning for her. Over 90% of these women went beyond the 2-year program and became certified teachers in their own right. And all the while teaching full-time, our mother completed her master's degree in comparative cultures at the University of California at Irvine. Of course, teaching Spanish and social studies was not enough for our mother. When she was asked to take over and expand the Intercultural Center, through her leadership, the center became a nationally recognized model for similar programs throughout the nation. The center was a sponsor for cultural diversity. The center became a focal point for the campus' richly cultural population. The center housed a volunteer program to help students whose first language was not English, and at the same time gave retired members of the community a new sense of purpose. The study abroad program was based at the center, and our mother traveled around the world evaluating and policing the program for the district. The center became a hangout for international students. Not only could the underrepresented students find important information there, but they felt at home there as well. Our mother would literally walk students through the process. She would address the fears that came from starting something new and help students deal with their concerns one by one. Whether it was financial aid, counseling, or other issues, she did what it took to help those students. If a student came to my mother for help, it didn't matter who they were. She saw a person wanting to learn, not their age, ethnicity, or financial situation. And if she could not help, she'd find someone who could. While at the center, our mother was asked by students to help start and sponsor a non-political Hispanic club. That club became the International Latino Student Association, or ILSA. One of the programs that my mother was most proud of and truly enjoyed was Kindercaminata. This annual event brought kindergartners to the campus in an effort to instill in them and their families the benefits of a college education. The motto of this event was her life motto, "Si se puede." One would think that this was a full plate for most people, but Bruni was not most people. Off campus, she was appointed to the Huntington Beach Human Relations Task Force by City Councilwoman Connie Boardman. She sat on the advisory board of Hispanic Alcoholism Services Center of Orange County. She also served as a volunteer translator for patients at Fountain Valley Hospital. She volunteered and put on workshops for Spanish-speaking families in the Ocean View School District. She taught alphabetization at Oak View Center that enables Hispanic children to learn to read and write in their own languages before learning English. She tutored students at home. She was on call after work by central office for people who needed her help, and all the while still maintaining her relationship with her husband, children, grandchildren, and friends. I have often heard her say, "I have seen more, done more, experienced more than most people will ever know, and I feel truly blessed by it." She felt truly blessed. If wealth was counted by love, adoration, and loyalty that others feel for another, then our mother was truly rich beyond measure. I would like to read a letter poem that 3 of her students from Golden West wrote to her. June 18th, 1988, a heartbeat away. To our loving friend Bruni, we sat in your classroom and we were there to learn. You stood in front of us, you were there to teach. What you taught us was so much more than proper grammar and pronunciation. As our teacher, you brought culture into the classroom. You opened our eyes to see things we did not see. You opened our mind to learn what we never learned. You opened our hearts to feel compassion, empathy, joy, and pain towards ourselves, our society, and our world. You taught us that different doesn't mean wrong. As our advisor, you taught us that we can do anything if we put our minds to it, and sometimes our bodies too. But most of all, as our friend, you were always there when we needed you. You have shared your experiences, your love, and your life with us. Words can't express how grateful we are. As we go our separate ways for a while, all the love we have shared will remain in our hearts and be with us always. We want you to know, Bruni, that te queremos mucho. And to all of us, I pray that we remember that true friends like us are always only a heartbeat away. Love your friends, Diana, Teresa, and Graciela. There once was a man that loved his wife so much that when she died, he created or erected a marble of architecture to her memory, you know, as the Taj Mahal. It is the eternal symbol of love. This pillar is not unlike the Taj Mahal. It is similar in that it is a demonstration of love and affection that Bruni's family, friends, and colleagues have erected to her memory. But mere stone can never compare to the amazing person that our mother was. Even during her last days, our mother thought of others. She asked that instead of flowers that would wilt and die, to take the money and donate it to the homeless so others would benefit. And when the end was imminent, she asked again that the money spent would go to a worthy cause. Our mother passed away with the knowledge that this scholarship was in its preliminary stage. I truly believe, as does the rest of our family, she would want this scholarship. So although she cannot be with us out of respect and love for her memory, together we have created a living entity through this scholarship, that her beliefs of equal opportunity to all, no matter the country of origin, ethnicity, creed, color, and/or social economic differences. These were her goals for the students that crossed her path, and they are the same motivating force that created and will continue to maintain the Brunilda Nunez Kronk Memorial Scholarship. Thank you.
And whether we knew her as Professora Kronk or whether we knew her as just our friend Bruni, we all will remember Bruni fondly. This is the pillar, the plaque that goes on the pillar. I'd like to present that to you. I believe there may be a few organizations here that want to recognize Bruni as well with a proclamation. If you're here, could you come up this time?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Norma Lopez-Reed, and I'm the Mayor Pro Tem of the City of Montebello. It's a pleasure to be here today, not only as Mayor Pro Tem, but also as a personal friend of Bruni Kronk's. I'd like to thank Golden West College for this opportunity and also thank her family for allowing me to also dedicate some special honors in her memory. Before I begin with my presentations, I would like to invite and thank a couple of the individuals who are here today representing elected officials whom I had the opportunity to contact. First, I'll introduce Dina Duella.
Hello everyone, my name is Dina Duella. I'm a field representative over at the Office of Congresswoman Loretta Sanchez, and I just wanted to present Bruni with this Certificate of Special Congressional Recognition, and it's in memoriam. And I join with Congress on behalf of the Congresswoman Loretta Sanchez and Golden West College in recognition of Ms. Kronk's outstanding commitment and contribution to education, developing a program for bilingual, bicultural instructional aids, and creating an intercultural center. She has left a lasting legacy for all intercultural education. Thank you.
Okay, and let's see, I know Ron Geyer, if you would step forward, please.
Sacrifice begets sacrifice. Praise God that love is the only reality and that God is love. Sacrifice begets sacrifice just for the love of it. It's been my direct experience in life that real happiness is achievable, that paradise can happen here on earth before we die. We don't have to wait, in other words. We can do that by sacrificing on behalf of others. And the greater the sacrifice, the greater your own happiness. Because you see that happiness and love reflected in others, putting a broad smile on God's face, as well as God's children. On behalf of Assemblyman Van Tran, for Bruni, your family, for your lovely sharing of her wondrous life, showing how specifically and deeply she loved others, and how happy she must have been and given so much happiness to you. On behalf of the California State Assembly and the California State Assembly Van Tran, I'd like to present this California certificate of recognition for a life lovingly dedicated in the service to others, many others.
From the City of Huntington Beach, Councilwoman Kathy Green.
On behalf of the City of Huntington Beach, I get to give this award. I knew Bruni. I graduated from Golden West, from the nursing school, and we know the Kronk family, my husband Peter and I, and so I asked to have the honor of being able to present this commendation to the Kronk family. And so it is lovingly presented to the family.
And now I would like to also present a few other certificates of recognition. This one comes from State Senator Tom Harmon from the 35th District in recognition of her untiring efforts in bringing together the bicultural masses for the betterment of our society, both culturally and intellectually. Efforts that will persevere for generations to come. Her many acts of kindness are surely little bits of love she leaves behind. I have a resolution and letter for the family from Congresswoman Juanita Melander McDonald. And there are many whereases, so I won't read the entire thing, but I will say that it is resolved that Congresswoman Juanita Melander McDonald celebrates the life of an educator, an extraordinary humanitarian whose brilliant mind, persistence, dedication, courage, and faith leave a great legacy for all who seek guidance. Now, from Congresswoman Grace F. Napolitano, we present this congressional certificate. It says, Congresswoman Napolitano joins Mayor Pro Tem Norma Lopez-Reed to honor the memory of a caring educator, Ms. Bruni Kronk, whose dedication to education was profound and moving. We dedicate this special acknowledgement to her today as a tribute to her life's work. And last, but hopefully not least, from me and from our City Council in the City of Montebello, commemorating her lust for life and desire to touch the hearts of all who came into her life. Thank you.
I just wanted to say that we really are honored to have so many people here joining with us today, and you met some of them, but since that point in time, there was one other that came in. I thought you might like to know that Chief Jeff Kirkpatrick is here representing Seal Beach Police Department. Thank Thank you, Jeff, for coming. Our second pillar this afternoon, pillar of support, is honoring Charlie and Marjorie Bunton. The pillar is located around the corner from this courtyard, just right through that little entryway there. And the Buntons are committed to support community leadership as well as volunteerism. Charlie and Margie?
Thank you, Dr. Miller. Margie and I wish to thank the Golden West College Foundation, Golden West College, and the Coast Community College District for honoring us with this recognition today. But I must point out that the recognition should actually honor our parents for instilling in us a keen interest in our community and the value that education represents to all people. Margie's mother, Ellen, is here with us today. In fact, why don't we recognize Ellen because she did such a marvelous job. Ellen, are you here? There she is. One of our sons, Dr. David Bunton, is also here. So I want to pay particular attention to the lessons we learned from our parents and the value that we place on giving to the Golden West College Foundation. One point that I want to emphasize is that giving comes from the heart, not the checkbook. We often hear about the tremendous monetary gifts announced by Bill and Melinda Gates, Warren Buffett, and other gazillionaires. Karen Woods, the director with the Acton Institute, writes, "Too often, the attention focused on large donation obscures those charities that seek not just the important alleviation of need or poverty, but look to the long-term sufficiency and reconnection to community of the person served." 46% of all nonprofits don't even hold a $25,000 annual budget, but such is charity. It has the added core value of a personal relationship between one with resources and one who is in need. And the majority of such charitable work is generally conducted by small, community-based, often faith-informed programs without dependence on big government. End quote. But most of us don't have large financial resources. We do, however, possess a heartfelt desire to see our communities be healthy and strong. Our two sets of parents demonstrated that through their volunteer activities as well as charitable giving, and we have chosen to follow their lead. Another lesson is that education and continuous learning is a vital link to the health of our community. Margie and I see the scholarships that are enabled through the Golden West College Foundation as the fuel that moves a deserving student to continue to achieve, to learn, and to succeed. Finally, we were taught to appreciate the values of a free, open, and diverse society. That by supporting organizations that are aligned with our beliefs, we build the satisfaction of knowing that in our small way, we could be helping one life that in turn could make a difference to thousands or even millions of people. Many of you know about or are bidders each year in either the silent or the live auctions that are key elements. I look at Dr. Miller because I know she bids every year. Either the silent or live auctions that are key elements of the annual Golden West College Foundation Gala. Well, despite comments that I have heard to the contrary, the spirit of giving is not measured through gift baskets, tickets to see Barry Manilow, or Hawaiian vacations. But I can tell you personally that it brings great peace to one's household.
Invite Kathy Green back up to the podium.
Isn't it nice to be here today? I have worked with both Margie and Charlie over the years, and it is with great pleasure to give them this commendation. Isn't it nice to recognize people you know and love so well? And I come from a background of nonprofits, and let me tell you, it is in giving that you see so much in the way of coming back. Our college has absolutely blossomed since Margie has come and all of her work. And the chamber has blossomed since Charlie has gotten involved. So Charlie and Margie has made such a difference in our community, and I thank them from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Kathy. Our third pillar of support honors Carolyn Cunningham. It is located in the Health Science Building Courtyard. If you'd like to take a tour later, you'll find it on that side of our campus. Carolyn is a dedicated philanthropist, and we are appreciative of her support of our new innovative weekend nursing program. We invite Carolyn up to the podium.
Thank you very much. When Marjorie asked me if I would make a 5-minute speech, I said, well, I've been making speeches all my life, so that's nothing new to me. I said I'll talk off the top of my head, so I'll try to do that. I became involved, unfortunately, not with schools, because I was a ballerina, and my whole life was dancing. And I'm happy to say that my teacher was Ernest Belcher, who March champion of Gowron champion was his daughter and son-in-law, so my background has been fine. I came to Seal Beach to teach a program for the Seal Beach School, for their summer program, and they needed someone to do a recreation program. And when it was over with, they asked me if I would open a dancing studio, and I had only been married a short time, and I thought, well, that would give me something to do. So I said, well, I have to have someplace to go, so the mothers made arrangements through the Catholic Church that is still over there off of PC Highway with their recreation room. I cleaned it up, put up bars, and opened a dancing studio there. Well, that didn't work out because I was not Catholic, and I was asked to leave. So the mothers found a program that was going on at the Boys Club on Main Street in Seal Beach, and I went down to see about getting room there, and they said, well, they couldn't rent to me, but that if I would give a donation, and I'd have to give one night a week to the program. I said, well, that's no problem. I live in Belmont Shore. So I worked gratis at the Boys Club in Seal Beach, and that is where I had my studio. And the lady that was my pianist asked me one day to go to the Seal Beach Junior Women's Club as her guest. Well, they were having a program through their state federation, which is the General Federation of Women's Clubs, which I am a member of, and I know a lot of you know a lot about the women's clubs. And they were raising money throughout the state of California for the Yountville Service Women's Memorial Hospital in Yountville. That hospital was to allow members of families who had patients in there to come and stay free of charge and be taken care of. That hospital is still in activities. That is over 45 years ago. So I feel that my donation went far, but what I did to raise money for that, at this luncheon, the girls were trying to have a bake sale or sell cookies or something. And finally I got up and I said, well, I'm planning a recital in about 2 months. I don't have any place to have it. If you girls would like to find a place for me to have my recital, well, they found McGaw School, which is still on PC Highway. We had a recital there. We made $500, I'll have you know, and that many years ago, that was quite a bit of money. And we gave it to the Yountville Women's Hospital. And that is how I got involved in voluntary work and working with other people. I have had the joy and the pleasure of being past president of the Seal Beach Women's Club 3 times. I moved to Rossmore when this place wasn't built. That was the shopping center. I said I've outlived 3 shopping centers, so I'm doing pretty well. I started the Rossmore Women's Club. I'm still a member of that. And I have served on the board there. I went on through the chairs. I was Orange District's district president for the Federation of Women's Clubs. I went on through the chairs up to General Federation. I became state president. I've done the dishes, I've scrubbed the floors, I've done all the things that goes with that, and made lots of friends and enjoyed every bit of it. And it has added to my life. My gift to the college was that I wanted to share with some of the pleasures that I have received in my life. I'm an only child, I have no brothers or sisters, I don't have a single living kin, but I've got a heck of a lot of good friends. So I wanted to share some of my finances with you. I'm also selfish. I live in my interest and they give me a little bit of interest. Of course, when I die, they'll get the rest of it, which is fine with me, but I'm glad to see it while I'm alive. And it's a real pleasure to be here today and receive this award. And I'd like to read you something. I'm also active with the Leisure, I live in Leisure World now. I lived in Huntington Harbor in Tennessee Estates for 35 years. I watched this school being built. And we have a library in Leisure World that the Leisure World donated the grounds to the library, and then Leisure World built it. Well, you all remember about 8 or 9 years ago when the libraries were closing and not having any place to go, and they were going to close the library in Leisure World. Well, we've got 7,800 people living in Leisure World, and probably a third of those people have to take the bus or walk to where they're going. And that library is really used. And so we gave them the grounds with the understanding if they ever decided to give it up, that it would, first chance would be us. Well, we now own the library because the library sold it to us. Now we're going to expand it, and we're trying to have a program. And this came out in our library bulletin, and I thought it was very appropriate. In fact, I read it to Marjorie, and she said, oh, read that to the people. It goes on to say, 2 patients lived in different directions and went to different medical clinics, but they had the same complaint. Both of them had trouble walking and appeared to need hip replacement. The first patient exclaimed, I really need this. So she got in within the hour, and the same day they did surgery on her. The following week, the second one went to see the family doctor after waiting a week for an appointment and 18 weeks to see a specialist, and then x-rays and x-rays and another year for surgery. Why the difference between these two? Why the difference is because the first one was a golden retriever and the second one was the first one is the golden retriever. Let's see what was the second one. Well, I can't find what the second one was, but it was the senior citizen. You know, I'm 91 years old and I have a right to have lots of memories. I frankly live on my interest, and you all know that interest today is zilch. And you know what it is to have Social Security, and I have expensive tastes. I mean, I've made 10 trips around the world, and I love nice clothes, and I love nice things. So I wanted to up my income. So I had to find some place to invest it to help me. I have a gentleman here as my guest today, Mr. Rand, who is from Dean Witter, who they helped support me. I also am a very large, if any time you go in the lobby of Memorial Hospital, you'll see a big plaque that I'm very proud of. And I have given to Memorial Hospital. I have given to UCI, to Dr. Desai's chair there in cancer. I've given to Long Beach State. I've given to this place. So this is where I get my money from, your interest. Of course, I probably drop dead shortly and you'll get it all back. Thank you very much.
I want Carolyn to hang
Doing the
that.
dishes and scrubbing the floors.
No, it's for giving money to nurses. I'm just a little prejudiced. What a lovely woman, isn't she? Isn't she great? When I'm 91, I'm just half as feisty. I just think you are wonderful, and I'm so proud to give you this commendation. And thank you for all that you have done. What a wonderful legacy you have left.
Well, I hope so. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I would like to share something with all of you. I think one of the reasons I feel very strongly about this nurses program. 6 years ago, I made a trip around the world on Courtyard. And one night I came from the bar upstairs, I had a drink, down to the dining room and fell flat on my face. I wasn't drunk, I just passed out. Well, they picked me up and put me in the hospital on the ship, and I finished the trip, and I came home, and I kept doing that. I'd be talking to someone, and I'd just, and luckily I have wonderful doctors, and after sending me back to Mayo's, many, many fine hospitals, UCI and the rest of them, Memorial, they discovered that I have something that's called hydrocephalitis, which for those of you that don't know what that is, that's water on the brain. And the water was pressing on my brain and making me pass out. So they told me that I had to have surgery. Well, needless to say, they scared the socks off me. And I said, well, what if I don't have it? And they said, well, we can almost guarantee you that within a year you will start into Alzheimer's. Well, that's been 6 years ago, and I don't think I have Alzheimer's, and I've had 3 brain surgeries.
Thank you, Carolyn, and thank you for your support of our college and our nursing program. Our fourth pillar of support today honors the El Viento program. The El Viento pillar will be located in the pool area when that construction is completed. That's on the far north side of our campus. Accepting for this organization is Greg Baird, Vice President and Chair-elect to their foundation board. Greg?
Thank you, everyone. We really appreciate this recognition for El Viento. Boy, that's a lot of sun. It is a great honor for us, and I think a lot of you may have heard about El Viento, but I suspect that most of you are not very familiar with us. So I'd like to take a few minutes to just tell you about us. We're a charitable organization based in Huntington Beach and focused on this Huntington Beach community. We were founded by Dr. Ellen Chakro and Jack Shaw, this distinguished bearded gentleman over here. If I were going to cast a movie and needed Robert E. Lee, this is the guy. Jack was a very successful businessman and educator. He is a retired vice chairman of Deloitte & Touche, one of the largest consulting companies in the world. And as an educator, he's the former dean of the Peter Drucker Graduate Business School at Claremont Colleges. Dr. Ellen Chakro, his wife, who could not be here today, is a professor of English at Pasadena City College. The two of them had a vision that they wanted to change lives, and they have greatly succeeded in doing this. They wanted to change lives through education and through special programs, and in 1997 they conceived of the idea of El Viento, which means the wind in Spanish. Jack's an avid sailor, and he wanted to teach kids some of the lessons that he's learned about sailing, that he's learned about life and education. They went to a 4th grade class in one of the poorest neighborhoods within Orange County, and it's located not very far from here. It's called Oakview. And probably the vast majority of the people are below the federal poverty level. These are kids who do not have the privileges that most of the kids in Orange County have. And they made a promise to them that if they enrolled in this El Viento program and stuck with it through high school, they would get a special reward at the end of their graduation from high school. And basically, the program was to have tutoring, to have after-school enrichment programs, some very nice field trips. We visited the King Tut exhibition, the Simon Wiesenthal Museum of Tolerances, that kinds of things. These are programs that give these kids an opportunity to see the world in a different way and to learn about things in a different way. And we also have a 6-week summer program that's geared to sailing, swimming, water sports, and we teach them leadership skills, we teach them team building, we teach them to have confidence in themselves, and we teach them to believe that anything is possible if they try. And this has been a very big success. That all happened with the first class in 1997. We now have, and we call each class a flight, we now have offered the promise of El Viento to 7 flights. We have 130 students in the program. And by the way, if they stick with the program through high school, we'll pay for their first 2 years of college. We provide a scholarship toward those expenses. And I'm happy to say that our first class graduated last spring, and most of our students chose to come to Golden West College. I would also like to say that none of this would have been possible without Golden West College. It is a partnership that dates back to the initial conception of El Viento, and we could not have done any of this without Golden West College. I specifically want to recognize some individuals within the Coast Community College District and Golden West College, and thank them for their partnership. Dr. Bill Vega, former Chancellor of Coast Community College District, Ken Iglesias, the current Chancellor, Wes Bryant, the President of Golden West College, Margie Bunton, a director with Golden West College Foundation, and also Monty Perez, Vice President of Student Services. These individuals have given a lot of their time and resources, and we thank them in addition to thanking Golden West College. So I have to tell you, this pillar means a lot to us. Thank you so much for recognizing our charity and for recognizing our efforts. And my thanks, and the thanks of our organization, to Golden West College for going beyond the boundaries of this campus and reaching out into the community and helping the community with continued efforts. Thank you very much.
Isn't this neat? We are already preparing children for college. Now, these kids didn't even think of putting college at the forefront of their minds, and now we've done that for them also. Not only have we done that for these children, but now the Boys and Girls Club are also going to be housed here. So now all of our children in this community can think in terms of education. All of our kids will be college bound. And I remember when Jack Shaw came to me and was talking about this idea, I was thinking, wow, this is vision. This is true leadership. Thinking beyond just taking a few, but a whole community of children. And this is how you keep kids out of trouble. Give them something to do. I never knew really much about parenthood. My whole philosophy was with kids is you keep them busy and you keep them tired, and that way you keep them out of trouble. And that's all I really knew what to do with children. And you know what? It really does work. And so I think at El Viento, these are the true at-risk kids, and these are the kids I have the most hope for. And so it is so exciting to see what you have done. And so thank you so much to El Viento, and thank you to all the people who are so involved in this program.
Thank you, Greg. We're honored to have the El Viento program associated with our college and now the pillar on our campus. The fifth pillar of support today is in memory of James Gordon. This pillar is located in the Health Science Building, which again is on that side of our campus. Accepting for Tom Swanson, James' cousin, is Golden West College President Wes Bryant. Wes.
Thank you. The James Jordan Memorial Nursing Pillar was established by James' cousin, Tom Swanson. For years, Tom's wife was a volunteer in their local hospital at Laguna Beach and was impressed with the nurses that she came across and met, their professionalism and their graciousness. This led them to give generously to support the healthcare profession. On visiting Golden West College, Tom Swanson was amazed by the outstanding students and dedicated faculty in the nursing department. And he toured the facility and he was interested in supporting that program. He was also impressed with the fact and actually talked about the fact that he looked at a number of foundations, and he was impressed that the Golden West College Foundation did not charge a management fee on donations. He said, you know, I like the idea that all the scholarship money that I donate goes directly towards scholarships. And that's why I chose Golden West College. When James Jordan passed away, Tom used his portion of the estate to establish a $500,000 scholarship endowment so that students at Golden West College will have the opportunity to reach their goal of becoming a nurse. Tom could not be here today, but the college would like to thank him for his vision and his generosity. Thank you.
Thank you, Wes, for accepting for Tom. Our sixth and final pillar of support today honors Nora M. Morrison. This pillar is located in the counseling courtyard, over in that direction on campus. Nora is an active member of the Golden West College Foundation Board and is a true believer in the community college system. Nora?
Thank you very much. Following Carolyn is quite a task. First of all, I'd like to thank Golden West College, the foundation, and the district for this recognition today. My first exposure to the concept of community college was Los Angeles City College system. I had just migrated from Canada and was anxious to continue my education while needing to work full-time. The concept of the doors never closed in education allowed me to continue my education and ultimately graduate from law school and pass the California bar exam in 1973. With that experience in my past, I knew I wanted to support the community college system. When the opportunity came to join the board of directors of Golden West College, I knew I had found the opportunity to support a system that had contributed to my own success. The enthusiasm to help keep those education doors open to everyone, regardless of their background or age, heightened every year when the scholarship awards are given. I would like to take this opportunity to rededicate myself to work harder than ever to make the foundation more successful every year. Thank you.
Let me tell you, working full-time and going to law school is no easy feat. I did it, I hated it, and it is probably the worst experience of your life. So someone else who has survived it and is still smiling and looks this good, I think we all need to congratulate.
We're truly indebted to all of our supporters and our benefactors. I would like to thank you all for your generous support. Now I'd like to introduce Dr. Monty Perez, Vice President of Student Services.
Thank you, Lois. I have a little frog in my throat, but don't worry about it. It's a little cold. This afternoon, we are honored to recognize 7 Golden Society donors. The Golden Society represents gifts from $10,000 to $24,999. Please stand when your name or your organization is called. Our first Golden Society donors are our own president, Wes Bryant, and his lovely wife, Terry Zwick. Thank you. Our second Golden Society in recognition is the Hispanic Scholarship Fund, and I don't think we have a representative here today. Our third is the McGraw-Hill Companies. And our fourth is our very own Dr. Lois Miller and Mr. Michael Miller. Please stand. And Michael's a lovely guy, so we'll run into him. Our next person of recognition is Chris Orlandorf. Chris, thank you. Thank you very much. Next is the Orange County Community Foundation. Okay. And then finally, again, recognizing this Golden Society recipient is Jack Shaw and his lovely wife, Dr. Ellen Shockrow. Jack, if you don't mind staying with us. So on behalf of Golden West family, I want to again thank you all for your generous gift and support of Golden West College. This year we have 3 honored Alumni Pillar of Achievement recipients. To be considered a candidate for the Alumni Pillar of Achievement Award, you must have taken at least 30 units at Golden West College. These units must have been earned a minimum of 10 years ago, and the candidate must have attained notable achievement and recognition in his or her field of endeavor. Your program has information on each one of these outstanding alumni. Our first Alumni Pillar of Achievement Award goes to Ted Palmer, an architecture instructor at Golden West College. He nominated Randy Jepson. Randy is a partner in the firm of Hines, Peter, Jepson Architects in Tustin. So our recipient is Randy Jepson. Randy?
Thank you and good afternoon to all of you. This is tremendous. I look out here and see some really special people when I hear about the contributions you've made and the caring and the concern you have for this school. I actually went through this place twice. Initially right out of high school, very little direction at the time, and looking for this to be a stepping stone, which it was. I had intended to go to pardon me, in deference to the politicos that we have here, I thought I'd pursue something in political science, perhaps law school. I transferred on to Long Beach State. Got into my 3rd year of study there and thought, what the hell am I going to do with this? So I came back here. I ventured back to Golden West College. And I recall seeing on campus one instructor in particular, though I had no personal knowledge of other than to see him, passing him in hallways and such. Ted Palmer, seated right over there. I had never taken a class in even drafting in high school or anything of that kind. I had an interest in arts and such, always working with my hands. Long story short, I decided to come back, start it all over. And at that time, I had recently become married. My wife is here today with our oldest boy. I appreciate that. And Ted allowed me to enter the program. I say allowed me because at that time, the class was so impacted with individuals trying to get into the program that it was not at all assured that I would get in. But after several weeks, some space freed up and I was allowed to come in. My experience, my relationship with Ted has been something that has sustained me through really my entire adult years now, and it's allowed us a lifestyle and a network of friendships out there that I can largely attribute to Ted. We have shared the birth of children, weddings, vacations together. I truly consider Ted a friend of the First Order. And I'm so pleased and proud that this recognition really comes from his efforts to get me up here. All I did was take the classes. This college needs to acknowledge the very special people that it has on its staff. And I'm certain that Ted is only one of many, but they make a huge difference in people's lives. I'm so grateful for that. As it stated, I am a partner in a firm that I hired on with at the same time that I started school here. I could barely spell the name or word architect. I ultimately became the owner of the place, and that is a very rewarding feeling. I've met some very nice people here today from various cities, and I'm thinking back, I have done buildings in their cities, many of them. And it's just a very gratifying feeling to be able to take what may have started as just a hand-drawn sketch and then follow it through construction and to realize that this will either be a home or a home to a residence or a business. And to all of that I can thank Ted and my experiences here. So to all of you joining us today, and I think I can certainly speak on the other recipients today, thank you for taking time to join us today. This is a very special time, so thank you.
Yes, we have a couple of proclamations.
Randy, on behalf of Supervisor Jim Silva, the County of Orange, himself an educator for over 28 years, it all comes full circle, and congratulations from a very grateful county. Congratulations.
And again, on behalf of the city of Huntington Beach, I love when he said, I just took the classes. Nobody just takes classes and becomes an architect.
Thank you, Randy, and I want to thank Professor Ted Palmer. Another story of success and how students and faculty work so closely together. The next alumni nominated by Dr. Kel Grimes, Professor of Chemistry at Golden West, is Patrick Pierce. Pat is an instructor of chemistry and biology at California State University, Long Beach. Patrick.
Good afternoon. Very happy to be here today, and I'm very flattered to be one of this year's recipients of the Pillar of Achievement Award. I'd like to congratulate my fellow recipients of this honor. When I started at Golden West College, I had just entered a career as a professional horseman, and I wasn't really sure what to expect. I hadn't been in school for some 10 years, and I had some apprehension about starting in college at my age. I wasn't even sure what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. I remember my first semester here, I took an algebra class with Professor Ellen Church. One day a student asked her what made her want to become a teacher, and she replied, when I went to college, I liked it so much I never wanted to leave. I soon felt the same way about Golden West College. I don't think I ever took a class here that I didn't enjoy. I had many instructors who were excellent lecturers, and essentially all of them were very approachable and personable. As a result, I regularly engaged in conversation with several of these instructors. These interactions helped form friendships I still enjoy today, and also made me realize how much they enjoyed teaching. Several of these people had a lasting influence on me. I frequently think of them and some special attributes they have that is ingrained in my memory. All of these people made some special effort to try and help me in one way or another while I was at Golden West College. and in some cases even after I had moved on. Some of these people never even had me as a student, but simply met me through some of their colleagues. Doug Beaver, Dibakar Barra, Tom Scardina, Ellen Church, Harvey Reynolds, Conrad Stein, Bernie Gilpin, Barbara Bogosian, Don Lindsay, Phil Bernard, and Stan Winters are just a few of these influential people. Two Golden West College instructors in particular have had the greatest impact on my life, Lou Michelson and Carol Grimes. I took a glass of Lou back in around 1991 and we quickly became friends. Lou was always willing to help me out in any way he could, and he's played the role of a mentor to me for several years now. Lou always talked about how much he enjoyed teaching. I remember him telling me he preferred to teach 5 days a week rather than 4 because he so liked being on campus and interacting with his students. It's quite a testimonial for enjoying one's work. I met Carol Grimes when I enrolled in her Chemistry 130 class, the first chemistry class I had ever taken. After the first lecture, slightly traumatized, I followed her to her office and told her I thought I enrolled in the wrong chemistry class. She told me I had not. I had serious doubts as to whether I'd be able to handle this class. Lecture was at 9 a.m. Carol had office hours at 8 a.m. 4 days a week. I don't think I ever missed one of her office hours. Carol was incredibly helpful during these office hours, and to this day, I consider Carol Grimes to be the best lecturer I've ever had. Her lectures seemed to be timed so perfectly that she would finish her last sentence in the discussion of some topic, and then the bell to end class with me. I remember one day she finished the lecture and said, "This will probably be the only day all semester that lecture will end early." I looked at the clock and it was 9:49, 1 minute before class ended. With all of Carol's help, I was able to successfully navigate the Chemistry 130 course, which laid the foundation for my later success in other courses. I honestly believe that if I had not had Carol Grimes as my first chemistry instructor, I probably would not be where I am today. I try to keep this in mind when students come to my office hours for help. I try to show these students the patience and support that Carol Grimes showed me. This class also sparked in me an enthusiastic interest in chemistry, which continues today. About the same time, I took Lou Michelson's anatomy class and Don Lindsay's physiology class, and I enjoyed them both very much, and I found the biology course content very interesting as well as the chemistry, so at that point I decided to combine the two areas and major in biochemistry. The following semester, at the urging of Carol Grimes, I began tutoring math and chemistry through the library here. It was through this tutoring experience that I began to realize how rewarding teaching could be. So in a few short years at Golden West College, I felt I knew what I wanted to do with the rest of my life, major in biochemistry and pursue a career in teaching. I transferred to Cal State Long Beach in 1994, where I completed my BS in biochemistry. When I decided to apply to graduate school at Cal State Long Beach, Carol Grimes and Phil Bernard were kind enough to write letters of recommendation on my behalf. During my first year of graduate school, Cal State Long Beach began hosting the State Science Olympiad. I volunteered to captain an event called Science Crime Busters. A few days later, I realized that I'd got myself in over my head. And then a couple days after that, my department chairperson and dear friend Niall Senazan approached me in the hallway. He asked me if I knew a Professor Carol Grimes from Golden West College. I said, of course I know Carol. She was my first chemistry professor. Well, Niall told me that Dr. Grimes would like me to work with her on the Crime Busters event, which was a huge relief. So there again, after all those years, Carol was there to show me the way again. Carol and I have worked together every year since at both the regional and state Science Olympiad events, and it's been very gratifying. I would like to thank Carol for nominating me for this very lovely award. I would also like to thank all of my previous instructors or other instructors from Golden West College, the generous sponsors whose contributions to the Golden West College Foundation support programs like the Pillars of Achievement, as well as all the administration and board members. I'm very flattered to have received this honor, and I feel very fortunate to have been a student at Golden West College. Thank you.
Isn't that interesting? I love his majors. I started out as a chemistry major, became a biology major against my wishes, but if you were going to be a nursing major, that's what you had to do. And Ellen Church is my neighbor. And she is a fabulous teacher, and all the teachers you mentioned I know well, and so I am pleased to present this commendation to you. A biochemist is probably one of our prized possessions right now. If you're looking at something you truly need to learn to live in this society, it is the one thing almost all of us need to learn. Anyone taking vitamins, learn biochemistry.
And really quick here, from the theater department here at Golden West College, which I hail from, thank you for your commitment and your ongoing dedication from the County of Orange and Jim Solet.
Thank you, Patrick, and again, thank you, Dr. Carol Grimes, for the nomination. Our last alumni nominated by Mike Duffy, our Director of Public Safety at Golden West College, is Gary Strongman. Gary is the Director of Public Safety at Coastline Community College. Gary?
Well, I would like to thank the college for this honor and everyone who worked so hard to put this event together today. And I congratulate my fellow alumni who are also being honored here today. I would like to thank my friends, family, and coworkers who attended. And I would like to say that besides being fortunate enough to attend Golden West, I'm also fortunate enough to be working at Coastline College. I'd like to thank the president of Coastline, Dr. James Joe Curry, for coming today. I started here in the fall of 1969, having graduated from Marina High School a few months earlier. There was no gym or locker room or pool, and we had to change for PE class in a boiler room in the maintenance and operations yard. And whenever I walk across the campus and see the quad behind us, I always picture this large peace rally that was held there with Strawberry Alarm Clock's famous song, Incense and Peppermint, playing loudly over the PA system. It's no secret that Golden West was the best educational experience of my life. And it's not because I had a tennis class with 20 girls in it and I was the only male. It was not because I was out of school and at the beach by noon every day. And it was certainly not because of a very difficult economics class that met at 7 a.m. several days a week. I don't know what I was thinking. But it was primarily due to two classes with Professor Roger Morin, one an English class which provided a solid base for developing my writing skills, and the other a speech class which opened up my mind to creative and critical thinking and problem solving. I had been a good writer in high school, but often had trouble organizing my thoughts and essays, especially if there was a time element involved. I don't recall exactly what Professor Morin taught us, but it was a template for writing that became etched in my mind, and writing became easier, much more enjoyable, and became a major part of my life after that. As a young police officer, after majoring in psychobiology at UCLA, that's another story, I became the go-to guy when there were complex incidents that required reports. I thrived on making complex situations understandable and entertaining, such as a suspect robbing a fast food place, knocking down a customer as he leaves, causing them to be injured, then while trying to flee outside, he is robbed by another suspect who is driving a stolen car, who then gets in a hit-and-run accident with a car full of juveniles, one of whom is a runaway. I can't make this stuff up. Later, I became one of the consummate squints on the department, working about half my career in writing and research positions and the other half in field assignments. A squint is defined as someone who works inside at a desk all day, and when he leaves a building to go outside, he squints because the sun's so bright. In the 80s and 90s, I worked on the LAPD's many of their major projects, including the LoJack Stolen Vehicle Recovery System, the department's video and after-action report for the North Hollywood bank robbery, as well as the department's first strategic plan. When I first started my career in law enforcement, my ultimate thrill was catching a burglar in the act of committing the crime. That was gradually being replaced by writing a really good sentence. At Coastline, soon after I started, I submitted a comprehensive investigative report. One of the deans reviewed the report and said, "Gary, this is pretty good writing for a cop." And I corrected him and said, "Excuse me, Dean, this is pretty good writing." The other class I took from Professor Morin was speech. It was a requirement, so I thought if I had to take it, it might as well be with good old Professor Morin, who would make it less painful. Roger was, besides being a good instructor, had a good sense of humor, was not afraid to speak his mind and offer feedback, and he had a unique way of desensitizing himself to the screeching sound that chalk would sometimes make on the blackboard when you write it and it breaks. He'd follow up to that sound by raking his fingernails down the board, causing the entire class to shiver and groan. It is ironic that I'm giving a speech about a speech class because it was a class in which we gave no speeches. However, this was a class that was on the cutting edge and way ahead of its time. Each meeting was a different scenario or role-playing exercise or leadership situation or drill designed to make us think out of the box, back when that phrase was new and not a cliche. The class taught us to challenge assumptions, to not use preconceived ideas, to come up with creative solutions to problems, to ask what if, and to effectively communicate our points of view. Some classes involved survival scenarios in which the group needed to reach a consensus on waiting for help or seeking help, or who should be left behind if there were limited resources. One class was a communication exercise which involved pairing up with a classmate and taking turns being blindfolded while our partners gave directions and walked us around campus, not holding on to anything, just following their directions. Professor Morin had a pretty good laugh at my expense when my partner accidentally marched me over a cliff and down an embankment. But the most memorable session was a class in which Professor Morin did not show up and we all left. We waited about 10 to 15 minutes before deciding he was not coming. You know, the typical discussion, 5 minutes for a BA, 10 minutes for a master's, 15 minutes for a PhD. And as we filed out the door, there was Roger with a somber look on his face. He did not speak, and he handed each student a sheet of paper which basically said, "You have failed today's class. Do not talk to me about it. You may now leave. Why did you think you needed me to have a class? Haven't we been challenging assumptions and thinking about things differently all semester?" Well, I felt really bad for about 5 minutes and then went to the beach to cheer up. But at the time, I did not realize how special this class was and the profound impact that it would have on my career. I truly believe that it prepared me for future leadership roles and opened my mind up to developing creative solutions to problems which I have used many times over the years. From getting violent suspects to submit to arrest, or finding investigative leads when there seemed to be none, or from coordinating immense administrative projects and new programs, to being a watch commander in South Central LA the first night of the riots with a squad of 10 officers and our substation, no communications with the command post. So once again, thank you to Golden West and everyone for honoring us today. I'm proud to be an alumnus, and I'm grateful for the 2 classes which had such a positive impact on my life and career. Special thanks to Professor Roger Morin, who couldn't be here, but I guess he's enjoying himself up in Oregon. And thank you all for coming.
Well, as a former Marina High School graduate and Golden West College as well, on behalf of Supervisor Jim Silva and the County of Orange, congratulations and thank you for your continued service.
And on behalf of the city of Huntington Beach and the mother of a Marina graduate and the alumni of Golden West College, don't policemen make you proud? Wow, as a public official who, when we're around policemen, I hear all the guff and all the problems. And every time I am around a policeman, and certainly someone of this stature, is all I can think of is my heart just swells with pride. Thank you for all your service.
Thank you, Mike Duffy, for nominating Gary. And it's real true testament, not only to the alumni, but to our faculty. you can see the kind of bonds that have been created. I want to again congratulate all three recipients. Let's give them a hand. I would like now to invite the president of Golden West College, Wes Bryan, to give some closing remarks.
Thank you, Monty. Often when someone asks the question of a college president, what's your favorite day? You're always supposed to kind of say graduation. In fact, someone the other day sent me a quote that, and I don't know which college president it is that has made this his mantra, but his mantra to students and everybody that asked him is that graduation begins today. And it does. But being at this school, I can tell you that today is my favorite day. This ceremony in this place. Not that I don't value graduation, because that's what college is about. But today is a day in which we see what makes graduation happen. It's the people who support this institution. It's the people who come here and meet teachers who impact their lives and change them forever, and then do something with that graduation. They take that degree, they take that opportunity, and they go back to their community, and they go back to their workplace, and the world is forever changed because people like you today have come here and supported this institution, and you came here and took the opportunity that classes gave you, and teachers took the opportunity that that classroom gave them, and made a graduation happen. So, as our final act today, I'd like all the people that were honored today to please stand, and one more time, let's give them a Golden West College applause. Thank each of you for your support and the idea that we took from this college. And then I'd like to invite all of you to join us in a reception at the Community Center. The Community Center is right out that walkway and towards that parking lot. Thank you again for coming.